Hey you guys, it's Katya with Hindustan Astrology, and in today's video, we're going to discuss the month of November 2024. Now, this month, we don't have a lot of activity in the skies, but what is happening is pretty intense and heavy. Um, at the beginning of the month, we are having a Mars-Pluto opposition. And, Mars is in a sign of debilitation, and Pluto can indicate war as well. So this definitely is an intense aspect. We also have Saturn going direct. Yes, he's going in direct motion again as of the 15th, and he is in Shatabishak. And then at the end of the month, the 25th, I believe, we have a Mercury retrograde. So without further ado, let's get started and look at the charts. Okay, so let's get started. So I put a picture of Varuna up here. He is the god of water, and he rules Shatabishak, which is where Saturn is stationing direct, and very significant that he is back in Shatabishak. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, let's get off on November 1st. Here we go. We have our new moon. It is taking place at 15 degrees, 23 minutes of Libra, Swati Nakshatra. This is from Washington, D.C., and so the ascendant just happens to be Libra that day as well, although it is Vishaka. So it's a new moon, right? So it's new beginnings. We have hope again. Things are turning over energetically. And so Libra is the sign of partnership. And Swati is the nakshatra where we learn how to bend. Think of it's a blade of grass is the symbol, but also think of a cypress tree and how it bends. It can bend all the way over, right? And that's actually what the symbol of the paisley is the cypress. So Libra rules law, and Swati is where we are able to listen to the other side. This is where we learn how to compromise. This is where, we can we can listen to the other side so much that sometimes it's hard for us to take sides, right? Or we can bend over so much that we become spineless. So this is where adaptability happens. And I feel like people that have Swati, because it is the self-going star, right? This is where people become very independent, where even though it's the sign of a relationship, this is where we can have a difficulty with relationship, where we can step away. And Sun is debilitated in Libra. And why is that? Well, Libra, like I said, is about relationship compromise. Sun is the ego, it's the soul, it's the self. He does best in Aries because Aries is the sign of the self. So this is where he can do his best work. But in Libra, the sun is forced to compromise, and he does not do that very well. And I found that people that have this, because sun is the father, oftentimes will have issues with the father. It is, Venus's sign, right? So whenever you have a Sun-Venus conjunction, like let's say Venus, is conjunct the sun, it makes a person lack self-confidence. They question themselves. Maybe they put too much into partnerships and not enough energy into themselves. But in mundane astrology, definitely we can say, and this is it's 4 days before the election, right? But the United States has a Sagittarius ascendant, so this new moon is taking place in the 11th house of the public. And a lot of people have said that they don't know who they're voting for yet. They don't know until they get into the booth, right? Well, that's very Swati. That's very wishy-washy, right? Like, I don't know what's going on I'm just going to go with the moment. And Vayu is the god of wind, and he rules Swati. So sometimes we can see storms here, even storms of the mind. You'll get ADHD, racing brain syndrome, oftentimes, especially if you also have something in opposition in Ashwini. But Swati, because it rules higher knowledge, learning, cosmic law, um, you know, Saraswati is the secondary goddess of Swati. And so a lot of times, we're thinking about higher thoughts, higher philosophies, and from the outside perspective, it looks like we're airheaded, right? Because we have our head up in the clouds. Um, so this is going to be definitely, as a new moon and happening, right before the election, this is indicating that people are still, they got their head up in the clouds. They're not sure which candidate. This is going to be the determining factor in who wins, is the independence, right? This is more than ever, I feel like, where they are going to decide the race. So the 11th house is communities, it's groups of friends. It's, if you're going to be a politician, you want to have something positive, in your 11th house, or the 11th house Lord be positive. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this election plays out. Now, Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is in Scorpio in the second house from the moon. And Venus is almost in Gandanta zone. She's like just barely 1 degree away from being Gandanta. So, Gandanta is where we feel overwhelmed, right? We're just processing old karma, old emotions. We feel like we're drowning. And having Mercury there, I feel like, it's going to be difficult for us to put into words our feelings at this time. Now, Mercury does love being in Scorpio. I will say that. But, second house is speech. It's food as well. And so this new moon is indicating that we are going to be very, we already know that people are going to be upset no matter who wins, right? Because it's so split. So I feel like, especially when Mercury goes retrograde at the end of the month, that's when we're going to be going back over this new moon at that time. And looking at what happened around this time. So pay attention, media communications, how you relate with others during this time. Venus is in Scorpio, ruled by Mars, and Mars is in his sign of debilitation. So tempers are going to be flaring. We already know this. I'm not telling you anything that you already don't know. But Mars is in the United States 8th house, and the 8th house is change, transformation. It can be death as well, deep transformations. So yeah, this is the build up in intensity to what's happening on the 5th. Like I said, when Mercury goes retrograde, we're going to be going back over the results over and over again. I feel like there's going to be a lot of contention. We are in the shadow of, Saturn going direct. He's slowing down during this new moon. And that is in the 3rd house for the United States chart. From the moon, it is in the 5th house, indicating speculations, stock market, politics. And Shatabishak is all about healing. It is the 100 healers and cures hard to cure diseases. So health, even though people haven't been talking about it too much, but our health and our food and things like that are actually going to be a big a big part of this election, I feel, because the economy has got to turn around. People are so tired of spending so much money on food, right? So that's, one thing I will say that um, definitely puts Trump in the favor is that when he was president before, the economy was great, right? So I feel like that is going to be a big defining factor for this new moon. Um, and that Pluto is direct now. He's in the second house of the United States chart, and we are still in our Pluto return. When he hits 6 degrees 49 minutes, which will be December 30th, that will be the third conjunction with the United States chart. So we are in the thick of it, y'all. This is definitely, we are in for a cosmic storm. But just remember, new moons are new beginnings. Libra is about relationships and relating. So, you know, try not to fly off the handle with people that you don't agree with. Um, it's better, I feel, during this climate to really focus on listening to what people have to say instead of just talking all the time. So, after that, November 3rd, we have the Mars-Pluto opposition. So you can see here in this chart, they are almost exactly opposite. And, Mars is the soldier. Pluto can indicate war, secret societies. Definitely, there's going to be some event that is going to transpire at this time concerning Pluto is hidden things, y'all. So, things that we don't know about that's happening overseas with war, right? Things that will be coming out that it's on the 3rd, right? This is 2 days before the election now. There could be things coming out about war overseas that could change a lot of minds. Let me just put it that way, okay? But definitely conflict is indicated here. So, if you have sensitive planets here, just be careful of driving. Be careful of what you say. Um, Try to do some more meditation during this time that will just put you into more observation role. But definitely have eyes in the back of your head when you're in the car. Just be careful, okay? November 6th at 5:02 p.m. EST, we have Venus entering Sagittarius. So she steps away from Mercury, goes into Sag. Venus will be on the ascendant. This is the day after the election, right? So Venus on the ascendant, that could indicate Kamala winning, right? I feel what's going to happen is that they're going to announce she wins at first, and then once they get the overseas votes and everything in, they're going to realize that Trump actually won. And then when that Mercury goes retrograde, all hell's going to break loose because, they're going to have to go back over everything. But eventually, I bet he's going to win. I'm starting to see that now. I wanted to steer clear of talking too much in other videos about politics. So many people are talking about it, you guys. Just, search it. You'll find several creators that have done excellent research. Me personally, I'm burnt out. Like really, I'm so burnt out on politics. And I've been studying palmistry too. I just started my Jupiter course, and I'm going to get certified in a couple years. And I'm really focusing on personal growth, soul development, our destiny. I do love mundane astrology, but I really hate politics because it just gets people so upset. And anyway, that's why I haven't been doing a lot of political videos. So I just wanted to put that out there. But there are excellent creators that are doing great videos, so check it out. All right, November 7th through the 31st. And this is the rest of the transits for the month, you guys. This isn't uh, a heavy duty month. I mean, it is in events, but it's not a very busy month with aspects. So on November 15th at 9:21 a.m. EST, we have Saturn going direct. He is at 18 degrees, 29 minutes of Aquarius, Shatabishak. And so everything we just talked about, Saturn rules karma. He's the planet of discipline, hard work. He brings us difficulties that bring out our spiritual growth. He brings us to the fire where we transform ourselves. So that's why he's not a very popular planet. But you know what? I love him. He really has taught me a lot. And he's actually my Atmakaraka planet. So, discipline, structure, being able to let go of things that don't serve us. Saturn helps us with these things. So when he is retrograde, he's brighter in the night sky. He's more intense. Now that he's going direct, this will be the last time he's in Shatabishak for, 29 and a half years. And Saturn, in Aquarius, and it's his best sign, yes, and this is Vedic astrology. This is not Western astrology. So Saturn rules Aquarius, and it's his best sign because here he can help the working class. He can help the minorities. He can help, people that are outsiders. Saturn is an outsider. And so here he has his best ability to be a humanitarian and help the working, the people that suffer as well in general, especially people that suffer from hard to cure diseases, right? So we're going to see new modalities of healing coming out. Just everything that last year he was in Shatabishak. So we could see some new research coming out now. Now, when he goes across the 20-degree mark, he will be back in Dhanishta. And then next March, he is going into Pisces. And boy, you guys, next March is going to be a doozy. Our solar eclipse new moon chart, which is the new moon for the year, we have several planets in Pisces. So, this is the last time he's going to be over here in Aquarius until for 29 and a half years. So, he's really bringing us, shaking us to our core concerning how we treat people who do not have white privilege, essentially, in all aspects of life. So having him go direct, we'll definitely feel it as we are approaching this Mercury retrograde. And I really think things are going to, the tables will be turned upside down with this election. So, Saturn is showing us where we need to heal. Okay. And then also, so on the same day, on the 15th, we have 3 occurrences. The second one at 4:28 p.m. EST is our full moon at 29 degrees, 48 minutes, Aries, Kritika Nakshatra. And this is actually, so the moon is exalted on Taurus on the other side, but still in Kritika at 3 degrees. So, moon in Aries is about pioneering things. Full moons are a time of, it's the Purnima, right? This is where the moon has gotten to its fullest. And then after that, he starts to decrease. And so this is a time of letting go. And at the very end of Aries, Kritika is the star of fire. It is ruled by Agni, who is the god of fire. And the symbol are knives, blades. It's about cutting and cutting things out that we don't need. Surgeons often will have this, right? Hairdressers, chefs, anybody that works with knives, even, people that make knives, that kind of thing. But it can indicate a lot of anger. And so definitely this full moon, people are going to be really upset because of the election. I'm just telling you, sun's still debilitated. Um, and it just happens to be that the ascendant. So we've had the new moon had the ascendant in Libra, where the moon was, and now we have our full moon. The ascendant is Aries, where the moon's in Aries. Isn't that interesting? So that makes both of these moon charts for this month, making the moon very powerful. So the moon in mundane astrology is the public. And so the public is really going to be taking over the voice of the stars this month, essentially. People have something to say. And by the 15th, we're just going to be, and still riding the coattails of the Saturn going direct in the morning, and then the afternoon is the full moon. It really is going to be about the public. It really is going to be about people that don't feel like they have a voice. Okay. And then at 9:02 p.m. that night, we have the sun entering Scorpio. So yeah, the ruler of the full moon is Mars. And here we're back again to Mars. And from the moon, Mars is in the fourth house. And the fourth house is, ruled by the moon, the public, right? So here we are again. But the fourth house is the house of the mother, and has to do with the land, the homeland, real estate. So I think we're, especially because, Pluto is still opposite, right? I think there's going to be a lot of protests. I think there's going to be even riots. There's definitely going to be violence in the streets after this election, and this is indicated by this full moon. So again, stay out of the fray, listen to your intuition. Yeah, just be real careful, especially with your words, what you say. Don't draw attention to yourself, kind of put on your cloak of invisibility, and that's really going to be the best way to navigate this full moon. Or be by yourself, go outside and soak up the moonshine, right? um, but don't forget Jupiter's retrograde, and from the moon, he's in the second house, and Uranus retrograde is there, and second house is the house of speech, and so when a planet's retrograde, they're stronger. And these two, Uranus is like sudden things. Jupiter expands things. So the speech, people's voices are going to be there, but they will make sure their voices are heard. Okay. Yeah. Be careful of overindulging in too much sugar on this day as well. Just really watch your words, watch what comes out of your mouth and what you put into your mouth during this full moon. Woo! Okay, yeah, Sun enters Scorpio. So happy birthday, Scorpios. I absolutely love Scorpios. I think it might be, especially Anurada. I think Anurada Nakshatra is my favorite. These people are the best of friends. They have been through everything in life. They've had to transform their life. And because of that, they are great listeners, right? They're great therapists. They really know how to give you a shoulder to cry on. So thank you, Scorpios, for being born. We're so glad that you are incarnated and have helped us to deal with, our own depths of our psyche and help us to learn how to navigate research in the mind and our passions, right? Our ability to procreate is seen through Scorpio. So happy birthday and go out and do something fun. Get away from this intensity. Okay, November 25th, 9:43 p.m. EST. We have Mercury going retrograde, 2828 Scorpio. Whew. So Jyeshtha Nakshatra, what is Jyeshtha about? Well, it's the eldest one. It's the elder star. This is where, the favorite wife of the moon is Rohini, and she's opposite. So that's the Lakshmi point. This is the Alakshmi point. And so this is where there is a lack, there's a deficit. And because of that, ironically, it can indicate abundance because nature abhors a vacuum, right? And so you'll see a lot of wealthy people with planets in Jyeshtha, actually. But Jyeshtha, because it's the elder one, is um, it's about authority figures, those that have to look out for other people. And as you know, if anyone in an authority position knows this, people are always pointing their finger at you. They're jealous of you. You have issues with betrayal and abandonment. And so this brings out the depths in a person. And Jyeshtha is actually ruled by Mercury. So this is where the occult is seen, black magic as well. Anything to do with alchemy, transformation, um, secrets, right? Hidden secrets. Um, so yeah, Mercury going retrograde here, and it's in the Gandanta zone, right? Um, Mercury is the planet of what? Media communication. When he goes retrograde in this sign, we are going to be asked to, might have to go back and eat our words about something. Information will be amplified during this time, and especially concerning leaders. Now, Jyeshtha's fixed star is Antares, and this is the fixed star that was used in antiquity along with Aldebaran opposite it to predict war. And so for the United States, we are a Sagittarius ascendant. This Mercury is in the 12th house of foreign lands. Yeah, I think this is going to indicate an information war. It may indicate, more attacks, but probably they're going to be more cyber, online stuff. But look in your chart where this is at, because that's going to, whatever house it's in, that's where information will be coming back to you concerning research, concerning authority figures like we discussed, concerning occult studies as well. But yeah, it's going to be particularly heavy as we are approaching the December 5th station of Mars going retrograde. And so having these two retrograde at the same time is going to be super indicative of a cyber war. And there could be even some interesting things going on with our grid because of the solar flares that we've been having. It's really crazy how far south these auroras have gone. I mean, I've loved it, but it's not a good thing, y'all. I don't know. I don't know if you realize that, the reason why we're seeing more auroras is because our atmosphere is thinning. We're not as protected from the sun now. And so while it's beautiful, it's not something that we want. We want a strong atmosphere. And that's, our sun. Our planet is getting older, but our sun is getting stronger. So anyway, it's just going to be a very, very interesting month. Okay, so that's what I have for the presentation. All right, you guys. So I hope that helps you for this month. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and click the bell notification so you know when I post. Also, I do daily moon predictions over on Instagram. I let you know where the nakshatra is every day, how the moon is being aspected. And that's Hindustan Astrology on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. So head on over there, and I'm going to be doing some lives here pretty soon. Lots of fun things that I've been wanting to share with you guys. And then don't forget, I have my book, Uma's Upayas. It is available on Amazon and Kindle. And, if you see me um, at a psychic fair, I'll have them there as well. I am November 2nd going to be on the list of readers for the psychic fair at the Enlightened Soul Center, which is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And it's November 2nd and 3rd. The Saturday, it is 12 to 6. Sunday, it is 12 to 5. So it is first come, first serve. It is $30 for 15 minutes, or 60 for a half an hour. You can do a full hour. You can do an hour and a half if you want. But I do 15-minute blocks. So head on over to enlightenedsoulcenter.com. And if you need more information, just shoot me a message. You can always send me a message on my website. I have the little um, square message chat window in the bottom right-hand corner of my website. So yeah, I hope that helps. And until next time, namaste, and I'll see you later. Bye.